We are back with more What's Now? Well, if eating healthy is a New Year's resolution on your list, Dr. Taylor Wallace has some ideas for you. He has some healthy food swaps, as well as some other ways that you can make eating a top priority and a top health priority as well.
It's the dawning of a new decade, and if you want to get healthy in 2020, experts advise against making lofty New Year's resolutions and instead find a sustainable approach to a healthy lifestyle, including an eating approach that can be easily maintained throughout the year. Here with tips to help you eat better and lose weight in the process is Dr. Taylor Wallace, who Huffington Post recently called the nation's premier food and nutrition guru. Thanks for talking with us today, Dr. Wallace.
Thanks so much for having me, and Happy New Year.
You too, and I love this topic. We get tired of having the same resolutions every single year, so maybe make a change and just have an incredible, healthy lifestyle.
Right, and you know, that's one of the big problems this time of year is people make these grand resolutions, and hey, I'm guilty of it too, but they're not sustainable in the long run. But what really matters is the little things we can do and maintain that'll have long-term health outcomes. So, for instance, just trying to incorporate foods that have optimal protein, high in fiber, and healthy fats can really make the difference.
And what about carbs and sugar? Is that something we really should be concerned about?
Absolutely. We know that sugar is one of the top contributors to both the obesity epidemic and heart disease, which is the #1 killer of Americans. So we should really try to minimize the amount of sugar in our diet, particularly added sugars. Now, we need a diet that's rich in dietary fiber because that's super healthy for our GI tract. So what most Americans don't realize is that there are many simple carbohydrates in our diet, and those are what we know as refined carbs. That's like white rice, white rice, white bread, white pasta, even starches in all these food products that we consume. Your body naturally breaks those down and absorbs those as sugar. We call this the hidden sugar effect. Your body is really only able to process about 1 to 2 teaspoons of sugar at a time. So let's take something like a whole grain bagel that you might think is healthy. A whole grain bagel breaks down into about 8 teaspoons of sugar, and all that extra sugar gets stored in your body as fat.
Which can be really hard because if you think you're buying something healthy and then find out it's got a lot of hidden sugar in it. So how can you make sure you're making healthier food swaps?
Right, so #1, you have to be a savvy consumer and you have to read the food label and not just look for the amount of sugar in a product, but the total carbohydrate content. And now dietary fiber is very good, so don't ditch the foods that are high in fiber. But those that are high in carbohydrates, you might want to think about easing those out a little bit in your diet, especially if you're trying to keep your blood sugars low. Now, I've partnered with Atkins because I love the program. It does not eliminate any single food group, and I've got several examples of really healthy swap outs from foods that you love and crave, just like me. So for instance, for breakfast, instead of an egg with toast, I have an egg-filled avocado. I love avocados. They're super nutritious. If you're like me and you like French fries, try turnip fries that are baked. And I know that sounds super weird, but run with me. Don't knock it till you try it. They actually hold the same texture as a French fry, and I spice mine up with a little paprika and a little garlic salt. They taste fantastic. Here I have zucchini lasagna, very tasty, a great way to get an extra vegetable in your diet, and it's really a play on a hearty dish that we all love. And then finally, instead of those breaded, boneless wings that we have during football season, get an air fryer, air fry some cauliflower, toss it in buffalo sauce, and serve it with blue cheese. It's absolutely delicious, one of my favorite swap outs today.
That does sound delicious. What else can we do to help change our eating habits now in 2020?
Well, so the most important thing is to make sure that you're getting at least 5 servings of fruits and vegetables in your diet. So focus on non-starchy vegetables like squash or zucchini, which you see here today, or low glycemic index fruits like berries, such as strawberries or blueberries. And literally, there are hundreds of these types of recipes and swap outs and more information about the added sugar or the hidden sugar effect at adkins.com.
Well, perfect. We'll do that. And any other tips to help this feel easier? Sometimes it can be very overwhelming to think about cooking all these healthy foods and buying them and prepping them. What can we do?
Well, again, read the food label when you're in the grocery store. And then don't try to make huge dietary changes. Take small incremental steps that are sustainable. So, I talked about switching out the boneless wings for cauliflower or adding that zucchini to your lasagna. It's the small incremental things that don't really take a lot of effort. They're practical, and they really have long-term health effects.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for talking with us today and helping us get healthy in the new year.
Thank you.